All right, so we're going to be demoing how to make mashed potatoes using a mixer method. Mixer method is much more common in industry. Food mills, not so much, although as I said before, I love the food mill. Most of the time you'll be using something like a Hobart mixer down there, or the big guy down here, the mixer, not Roger. And, I pointed ready, sorry. But the mixing method is most common, but it's not quite as efficient, so we have to be ready with all our mixing bowls. First of all, I've got potatoes that have been simmering in salted water, ready to go. They're tender enough. I've got my melted butter here, and I've got my milk here. Salt and pepper ready, and I've got my attachments for the mixer. I'm going to need 2 attachments for this. I'm going to start, when I mix first, I'm going to start with a paddle, and then I'm going to switch to the whip at one point. Heavy cooked potatoes on some mixers, you risk breaking these. So if you just start off with these, you'll end up with these things, which has half the tines missing. So we got to be able to switch. This will bust them up, and this will finish it for us. So have those ready and nearby. All right. So let's drain the potatoes. Put them onto my sheet pan. Oven to dry out. I want to make sure one thing happens today. I would like to make sure that you're all using a stainless saucier when you're simmering your potatoes, because especially when you're doing a food mill, if you food mill them back into here, it's still hot, plus an aluminum can will discolor your potatoes a little bit. We're trying to get as white of a result as possible. So for food milling, if you use this again, it's good to use. I've got a stainless bowl here, so that's going to be good. Remember, when you're cutting your potatoes, cut larger pieces, like 1.5 to 2 inch pieces, so you have less water absorption. And try to trim them and peel them really well so that the pieces of potato are nice and white and there's no brown spots, or obviously skin would be bad. Get a nice color in the end. All right, so I'm going to get my butter hot, my milk as hot as possible. Remember, when these potatoes come out of the oven, you know, they're in a hot oven, but they're still really moist. So we're keeping them in that 212 degree temperature because they're still really moist. And when we take them through this process, we want to make sure that during it there's going to be a dip in temperature a little bit, but it's only going to be going up and leveling out and still being hot. You don't want it to be hot, then you drain them, and they keep the temperature when you dry them out, then you start mixing, then you add butter, then you add milk, and then you season, and you're done, and they're cold. Don't want to do that. We got to keep the temperature up throughout the whole process. So let's see if we can do that. All right, so that ready, got my paddle to start. Question, Nate? Oh, okay. Even though it's on the video, you can ask a question. Yeah, we're just cutting out later. Yeah, take it out. Alright, so just get them on there. Make sure the knob in the back is in place. Lock it down, go to the paddle. So at this point, we want to do most of the breaking up the potato right now. Break it up into really fine pieces. I don't want to add any other liquids yet because they act as lubricants and the pieces don't break, they start to mix. And I don't want that to happen. Alright, so it's good. That comes out of there. Now I can go with the whip attachment. All my butter goes in. Some people, when they make mashed potatoes, they just combine the milk and the butter. I don't like to do that because I want the butter to go in first, now to lubricate the starch so it doesn't become gluey, and I don't want to run the risk of not getting all my butter in. If it's mixed all in here and I pour it in and it gets to be soft enough, I might end up with some of my butter still in my milk. So I want to make sure my butter gets in there, then add my milk to the proper consistency. Down. Salt, white pepper, and we're done. When you are done, based on that 8 ounces of milk that you used, you're going to have not very much left. So that's another indicator of how soft I want that. So if you pour a little bit of milk in there and you've got most of your milk still in your pan, you're probably going to have mashed potatoes that are too stiff. So my color is better on these today than yesterday because my butter isn't brown. So are they steaming?
Yes, they are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah! Good demo.
Yeah.
All right.